Very good everybody, and welcome to another video. This is your personal function pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko, and I will be your captain for today's flight. And today's flight will take us on a late night flight with Scandinavian Airlines from Copenhagen Kastrup Airport to Düsseldorf Airport in Germany. We're using real world time and real world weather, GSX and the Aerosoft Simple Traffic tool. And our equipment for today's flight will be the PMDG 737-600, which is parked right here at the gate. Looks like the jetway is a bit awkwardly positioned, so decided to just use the air stairs for today's for the boarding, as otherwise it's just going to be kind of a hassle to get it all right. So I figured let's just not bother with that, and we'll just use the air stairs. Serve the purpose. Looks like it's open skies. Looks beautiful up here in Denmark. The flight time will be around 1 hour 6 minutes. So the aircraft is pretty much cold and dark. Just step through this door and see if we can switch like this. There we go. So pretty much cold and dark. We hooked up the external power and we turned on the batteries, but that's basically it. Do the electronic flight back. Let's get our flight plan. So departure weather, Kastrup is 250, 11 knots. 4.9 kilometers visibility. VR is broken. NCD, I'm forgetting all these codes. Let's check out LFP. So cost index 10, cruising altitude 260, average wind 228.037. So 260, cost index 10, 260, 228.037. And our block fuel 6010, so 6,000 kilograms of fuel, and we got 2.5 on the final reserves. And then our departing runway will be 22 right. We are departing by the NEXEN 2 Charlie departure. It will take us to airway Tango 503 to MICOS, then direct to the NIE VOR, and then direct to DENOL, and then another airway Tango 851, and the HALME 1 Alpha arrival for runway 23 left. So that's it in a nutshell. Let's get the boarding started. So this is removing the PMDG loaders / stairs. So you should see that pull away now. Let's have a look outside like this. Right, so let them do their thing, we'll do ours. Now I thought actually I turned on the ADES IRS some time ago.
Boarding requested.
We need to set up the SMC now. So it's already asking for IRS position, so I think it's done. It's just waiting for our position information. So close unit. So Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel, I believe. And what is our gate? Bravo 15. So I don't think we can just go ahead and request it.
Do you want to board crew? Pilot's boarding starting.
Jetway not close enough to any door, you won't see passengers. Well, that's bullshit, man. So we do have air stairs there. We don't have them here, but the door is open. The jetway is connected to the right side.
Starting.
That in itself is not necessarily bad,
Crew
but
has boarded.
not sure if I'm liking this.
Passengers boarding starting.
So will we see passengers inside? That would be nice. Actually, I don't think in this plane we cannot open the door. So let's look outside. Like we won't see any passengers at all. Okay, well. Least we could do is close the front door, door management. So what if we open the right entry door? I don't think it opened. Okay, forget that. Let's get some working lights going here. Let's get the show on the road. So set payload, set fuel, select route. I believe the departing runway was 2 to right. Let's just look here. 2 to right would be in NEXEN 2 Charlie. Two, 3 left, and we got the HALME 1 Alpha. That's 2, 3 left. HALME 1 Alpha. Execute, so the entire route should be in now. So the final reserves, I forgot. Cost index 10, and then cruising was 260. Cruising wind was 228, 037. Just a double check now. 260, 10, 228, 037. So that's correct. Execute. Transition altitude 5,000 feet. Let's watch our departure chart. 5,000. Our departing the so heading 217 and then 211, and that will take us to Vista and then to NEXEN. But we are looking at this chart basically for the transition altitude 5,000, which we can confirm. So that's okay, we execute. I think I already did. And one limit. So 114 passengers have boarded. It's just the ground handlers are still at work. Also like having these night flights that are nice and chill. Alright, so performance 2. Runway 22 right. 116. Import weather. And again, that's not doing it, so import for an aircraft, but it's still being loaded. So the baggage loaders are now at 89%. We do have all of our passengers now. So if we do import from aircraft level, at least we get some rudimentary numbers. Calculate, this would give us now takeoff derating and then 53 degrees. Flap 1 with the usual 126, 126 and 130. I believe the baggage handlers may have finished by now. There we go. Boarding completed. So now we can get our numbers. Imports from aircraft. Will give us the same takeoff and then 53 degrees. So it's just the TO at 53. I must have done something wrong. But did I enter the winds? Wait. I forgot to enter the wind. So 228037. So already executed without, but I guess it's alright. So let's take off at 53 degrees. Gives us 87.5 against 86.8. Well, just take what the FNC said. Flaps 1. And trim setting 6. And we can see this here 6.01. Here's a 6.00. And the runway remaining was, I believe, 107. Double check that here, 116. And we're getting 125 V1, rotate 126, V2 130. So that's everything set up there. So then we're basically pretty much good to go. Let's get our fuel pumps, start up the APU. The aircraft is positioned, so let's turn on the yaw dam. And we have the fuel on board 6.0. So fasten seatbelt sign can go on. No smoking, arm the emergency exit lights. APU starting up. Cruising will be 260. And what is our, let's just press the B. So basically sea level, so we can leave that at 0. Hydraulics and the window heat and the probe heat. Well, that's pretty much it. The moment the EGT reaches 400, basically the APU is stable. We can turn on the APU bleed. We'll need that to start our engines. And we'll switch to APU generators now. And we'll disconnect the ground power before we ask them to release it. Ground operations, and where is the ground connections release. And then we can also do remove chocks. We'll probably need to set our wheel brakes, parking brakes. Parking brake set. Quickly get ourselves some squawk codes. Right, so let's request push and start. So where the hell did we go? Runway 22 right. Totally didn't have any look at the airport yet, so to the right, it's right there. So we push back, what's for orientation, so nose to the left.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
So what are we? We're 6,000 feet. Yeah, it keeps beeping at me closing the doors, but sometimes with GSX when you close the doors, it's opening it, so it's sort of a close all.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
That's good stuff, thank you. So flight directors on both sides. Auto thrust, and we go for 215 knots. Or at least we don't go over. We are on the T-nav and the L-nav. They're both armed.
Locking gear.
Family flight display is a little bit bright there. So we may need to reconfirm our takeoff speeds in a little bit. So there was a nose to the left, tail to the right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Well, you got it.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, so we can start our engines. So let's set the trim for route 6.0. Something right there will do just fine. We're pushing back. Let's start up, where is it? Engine number 2. Let's fly to Germany, see what Düsseldorf is doing. We're just driving through another plane. Let's quickly look away, pretend we didn't see any of that. And we can turn on the traffic here on the navigational display. So we'll leave these lights on for a little bit so that we can communicate with the ground crew. They will show us the pin and all that. And so the starter switch has returned to position. The EGT is starting to
Please set parking brakes.
to drop. So we go engine number 1 and we set the parking brakes.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Right, so we have some hydraulics. Let's go to 1. And our speed brake or auto brake to reject the takeoff. This is the message I was talking about. FNC, verified takeoff speed 125, 126, 130. Alright, so we have 2 running engines. EGT is dropping, so let's confirm. And they can set us free.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Well, so can you. Okay, so we got 2 running engines. So we'll switch to the main generators. Now we can turn off the APU. Also turn off the APU bleed and we'll turn on the packs.
Unlocking gear.
Okay, you just do yours and I'll do mine. Okay, the first waypoint will be Rubat. It's straight ahead basically, 1.5 nautical miles. And then Bista Where the hell is that sucker? Basically straight line. Well, we
Bypass pin removed.
saw the departure route right here.
Left
Basically
is clear. Right is clear.
straight to Pisa and NEXEN. So there's not a lot going on, but there's a robot at the beginning. Alright, so we got clearance. Not sure if we'll be able to see the person there. There she is. Okay. Oh, thank you. Right, man. Let's get this show on the road. Runway turn-off lights, taxi lights. And where are the dome lights? They're up here. What's this little light doing here? Oh, never mind. Okay, so how do we get to the runway? Let's have another look. So we'll be going on to Papa. Runway 22 right here. So Papa will take a right turn onto Yankee, onto Alpha, and then we cross runway 12. Something like that. So parking brake released. And a little bit of forward thrust. We'll turn right onto Yankee and then left onto Alpha. This will take us to cross runway 12. And finally we continue Alpha, and then Alpha 1 will take us straight to the runway. Alpha 1 that's left here. Mind our speed, a little bit high speed now, 24 knots. Discount the opposite direction. So we got the company in front of us, another SAS. And they might actually be waiting for some incoming aircraft. Let's try and find the central line here. But at least it looks like we're putting in some effort. I think they might be taxiing into position now. Parking brake. Right, landing lights. We got the strobe lights, and we turn on the TCAS. Cabin crew, take a seat for takeoff. Parking brakes released. I'm just going to assume there is no incoming traffic, but maybe it can't hurt to look. Alright, get this show on the road. We'll turn off the packs for departure. Alright, so timer set. 50%. And we set takeoff thrust. And let's get out of here.
Airspeed's alive. knots. V1. Take V2. Positive rate of climb.
Get up. So it's around 1500 feet. We should see a significant drop in the nose, but it's already actually doing that. That's usually the acceleration altitude. So nose down. So we're pitching about, what is it, 10 degrees, 5 degrees? 15? We're still, there you go. Alright, let's turn on the autopilot. Steam the on. And 1 LNC enough speed. So the flap up speed is coming up. Turn off the auto brakes, flaps up. We turn off the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights as well. And the packs go on. Let's get some lights going on so we see what we're doing. Let's turn the lights a little bit brighter. So engine bleeds are on, packs are on auto, landing gear up, but not off. So landing gear is now off. And the flaps up, no lights. Flaps up, no lights. Flaps are off there. And it's crossing 5,000 feet, so we can go to standard pressure. Look outside. There's our little Scandinavian Airlines. Oh, it looks pretty. So almost at 10,000 feet, the nose will drop. And top of climb is quite soon. Not a very high altitude, 26,000 feet to 10,000 feet. Turn off the landing lights. Then we can turn off the seatbelt sign, but we'll leave it at auto. And I guess we're on our way. So descent 263 nautical miles, 23:18. So that's about 45 minutes or so. That will be a fairly short flight. 4 minutes into the flight, and the engines are looking nice. If I were an engine readout, I would want to look like that, I guess. And just curious what the weather will be at our destination. So arrival, Düsseldorf, 22:20. The time is 22:30 now. 106 knots, navigate 12 degrees, 1009. So it doesn't look all that shocking. 6 knots, not a lot of wind, so that's okay. 180. So that's Copenhagen and Denmark. So Copenhagen is where they got that naked chick sitting on the rock, right? When I was a young boy, my father brought it once home to us, this naked chick sitting on the rock. Boy, did those protuberances wear off, or wear out? Maybe not wear off, I don't think they ever wear off. Right, 18,000 feet, and we're getting higher and higher. That's something you will never hear any pilot deny, you know. Sir, are you high? Well, what do you think? But as with any waves, sometimes they do get down, you know. Alright, man. 20,000 feet. We're really shooting up here at 4,400 feet per minute. Pretty nice. Our little chubby girl is doing an excellent job. So I'm not sure about the GSX because it said we would not be able to see the passengers. It might be that they are, but we cannot see them at all. That's a bit of a shame. It's always funny to see the passengers, you know. Sometimes they have these. There's this one guy who always has his hand on his tummy, you know. So whenever my takeoff was a little bit bumpy or something, and I go back into the cabin and I see that guy, I always feel guilty. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. You know, I mean, who wants to pay like a couple of hundred euros or something, you know, to just to get to start vomiting at a certain altitude? If you want to vomit like not a certain altitude, but like the altitude that you want, like I don't know, above your toilet or something, you know. But I don't know, that's maybe just first world problems. Okay, 26,000 feet coming up, so that will be our cruise. And then we got, where is it? 237 miles until the descent. So we'll go over the arrival and the approach. Here's our cruising altitude. It's interesting they make us cruise at 26,000 for some reason. And can we actually see, let's look at cruise. Optimum would be 3906. Well, we're nowhere near 3906. Okay, so we saw that the entire route is now in here, but there will be the route discontinuity after the Düsseldorf VOR, what it looks like. And then probably you could expect vectors to center fix 23 left, Medna, and the runway. After HALME there's the Düsseldorf VOR, so let's have a look at our flight plan. Or actually this is our arrival. So that's HALME. And that's there's the Düsseldorf VOR. Okay, so I'm not sure if we actually need to overfly that. Does it say? I believe in maybe the Airbus or something, there might be a little triangle next to it, meaning that you have to overfly or something. Not quite sure. And our runway was going to be 23 left. So the chart. Runway 23 left, ILS. So we can forget about the DOS, the Düsseldorf VOR, but we will have the map waypoint, and there is nothing really proceeding it. Or wait, we do have center fix 23 left. We did have that one as well. Yeah. So the DOS VOR we should actually just remove, I would think. I'm not sure why it's in there. I don't like it. Then after HALME we should be going to CF23 left. So let's have one more look at what HALME is. And that's quite safe, so we'll do that. We can also see this here now on the plan page. Let's execute, see what it looks like. So after HALME, we will go to 7623 left, and then the runway 23 left. Let's copy that, and go to the fix page, paste it. So the glide slope starts at 3,000 feet. And it will be 9 miles from the ILS, the IDSW. That is our ILS identifier. 109.9. So 9 nautical miles. Where is it? 9 nautical miles. Let's get the reciprocal. 23 left, 23 left. So that is 050. Nice and even. 050 at 900 miles, and then also at 090 at 15. Right, so that's the vertical situation as you will. Or vertical view rather. So yeah, this should do. Also cutting it quite short. If you look between center fix 23 left and Medna, there's not a lot of space between those two. This is like 1.6 nautical miles. So let's see HALME. But once we're passing HALME, we can already start turning on the localizer, arming the localizer. But we might, let's see, I think it's going to be fine. And otherwise we'll just crash. And then all our problems will be solved as well. So, you know, I really hope the pilots that are flying me and the people I love, or anyone actually for that matter, are not thinking like that. Right, so we got a lot of information already. Now to set up the ILS in our radio system, so let's just hide that bit. So we need 109er decimal 9er. We put that in the POR box. .109er decimal 90, and the course, approach course will be 230 degrees and then 3,000 feet. Feet, so we are now at cruise, so we can actually set 3,000 feet. I would not do this on VATSIM obviously, because you know, you should be vectored or you know, cleared basically to change altitudes and everything. So 3,000 feet, and then the minimum we'll find below. Yeah, we can go for 100 radio altitude, will be fine. There's 93, then I guess we could take that too. Let's just do that, just because we can. .93. So that's is everything set up there for our arrival basically. So that's a pretty nice view here, looking out the window on the left side. With the moon shining and reflecting both on the water and on the wing in front of us. finger and the guitar both still work. I'm really enjoying this this window view here, I must say. Very pretty. Oops, but not so much. Let's check on the flight deck now. See if everything's still flight taking. So 2252. Top of descent, 118 nautical miles, 2313. That's in about 20 minutes. So, time of issue 2220. So this is the latest weather, 2220. Yeah, okay. Now flying for 26 minutes. This makes sense more. Okay. Well, it is how it is. Yeah, so that's what you get from real-time in-flight entertainment. By yours truly, for yours truly, and for anyone in between. So these nice flights, they're so nice, man. especially when you see some lights below you and stars. It is very atmospheric. 2257. Top of descent 91 miles. We could be 2220. Let's get 1009 to pre-dial our QNH. 1009. So at least we have something. Düsseldorf 23 left, transition altitude 5,000 feet, airport elevation 150. We put in 150 in the window, that should be okay. Let's start by doing that. We're now already in Germany, a very short flight in that sense. We took off right next to the border basically. So 2220, just keep refreshing and guessing 2250, so like in 2 minutes or so we should be able to update if it's a half-hourly update. Not sure which one of these two you would need. I would think landing dispatch, airport aircraft weather. I'm just saying airport. What? No, I'm not really sure. So let's forget about it. Put the tablet nice and dark. I think a little bit of turbulence here. descent 43 nautical miles, 2313. That's in about 8 minutes.
Traffic. Traffic.
At 2306. Let's see if we have a weather update. Now 2220, so maybe this will change to 2250. And it does. So we have 1 half hourly update. 1806 knots, so hardly any change. 1009, no significant change, I believe. So 1009 as we have said, so let's get our descent checklist. The after takeoff checklist we completed that after takeoff. Pressurization, landing altitude. So we do have the landing QNH, but the pressurization set will be to be set landing altitude 150 feet. And recall. Nothing going on. The auto brake, you can set the auto brakes for the 1 position. Landing data VRF and minimum. We did not check our VRF speed yet. Right now we're giving us 124 knots if we land at flaps 40. So +5, 129 and knots, so 124 there, and the next page 129. So landing data VRF minimum, so we got the VRF speed now, we got the minimums 93, we got the ILS and the runway heading, or the final approach course. VRF speed, and we also have our QNH. Approach briefing, basically completed that as well. We'll just follow the lateral navigation, and then just turn on the localizer. And I think we should have just enough time to stabilize. Let's go ahead and do that. So basically our descent checklist has been completed. We'll be descending any moment now. 20 miles. That's 3 more minutes. It's definitely a beautiful night for flying. Got our little moon.
Traffic. Traffic.
9 miles. So we set the altitude to 3,000 feet. That is because that should be the altitude at which the glide slope will start to take us down at Medma. So before Medma, which is there, would like to be pretty much established on the localizer and have our speed a little bit under control. Five miles to go. And then we're expected to touch down 23:36. It's in about a little under 30 minutes. There we go, top of descent reached. And we're 5 miles from DENOL, and then we'll take a right turn to Hotel Mike VOR. So instead of 4,000 or above, let's put that 4,000, let's see, we're a little bit below. Say /4,000 in case it's not going to do it like that. We just force it to be there at 4,000, and then doing that, it immediately places us a little bit high. So let's get the speed brake out. Same for 3,000 or above, or /3,000. Deviation 3,000 feet high. So currently expediting a little bit, we have the speed brakes out still. And then let's go back to VNAV. So deviation now 1800 feet, that's actually rising. Let's retract the speed brake, see what that does. So speed brake out again. Right, let's turn on the seatbelt signs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have started our descent to our destination for today's flight, Düsseldorf. We'll be expecting to arrive there in about 20 minutes. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelt. The local temperature will be 12 degrees and we'll have open skies. It's going to be a very beautiful night in Düsseldorf. Please take notice that we've turned off the cabin lights, as this is a normal procedure during nighttime operations. On behalf of Scandinavian Airlines and the entire crew, thank you very much for flying. Right, so what's our deviation looking a lot better. Our speed's still holding at 250, even though we have the speed brakes out. So we're slowly getting back on track there. So it's a bit of a aggressive descent here, just because we changed that one value. But basically, I always think I'd rather do this stuff now than do it when you're close to the ground. You further destabilize yourself, you know. Right, so vertical deviation becoming less and less, now down to 400 feet. So this triangle should start moving soon, which is doing now. Retract speed brake. Looks like we're on profile now. That's a lot better. So 13,200 feet. The approach speed has not changed. We do not have the ME readout yet. Distance to go 61 nautical miles. Now we're getting heated a little bit low. So 53 minutes into the flight. So transition altitude was 5,000 feet, I believe. 5,000 feet. .10,000 feet coming up. Let's start the APU. Landing lights on. Okay, turning for HALME now. I think we're a little bit high. Get some drag out.
Traffic. Traffic.
So we're aiming for 4,000 feet. So 2320, there should be a new weather report issued. But as usual, that will probably be available in about 8 minutes. So 5,000 feet will be our transition altitude. Let's get the speed brakes back in. Slowing speed down to 240 knots. We have 50 miles to go until we reach HALME. Then we'll take a left turn to center 623 left. And after center 623 left, to HALME is 30 miles. Then from HALME to center 6 is 20 miles. And then to Medva is only 1.6 miles. So we do definitely want to establish ourselves by then, so we can turn on the approach. We're getting closer to the airport. We have DME, not yet, probably any moment now. Let's turn on the runway turn-off lights and the taxi lights. APU is on. We can have one more look at our airspeed. That's still 124. Time 23:24. So in about 6 minutes we can check the weather, which will be like 7 minutes before our touchdown. There should be plenty, should be enough. So standard starting to warn us now. So let's just switch over. We got 1009. I don't think we have delayed QNH yet. 2250. The HALME 3.5 nautical miles. And then 20 miles until Charlie Foxtrot, center 623 left. Not sure if that is our runway yet. Quite likely, I guess. 8234, 240, and then 141. But that's only 20 miles. We're now 1 hour into the flight. arm the localizer? We cannot yet. No. We do not have DME, so the localizer is not yet picking up, not alive. 109er, decimal 9er. Let's just double check it. 109er per 9er. So we have to get a little bit closer if you want to intercept the localizer. There's our localizer at 25 miles. What's army localizer now? It's not yet intercepted, but it has been armed. So speed's now holding at 242 knots, and it wants to go at 141 knots at center 623 left. We're below the glide slope, so that's also good. Go around Miss Approach, climb on heavy 230 until crossing 2.6 dB from the Düsseldorf VOR, 2.8 from IDNE. That is not our localizer. Max 20 knots, then turn right on heading 307 until crossing, oh man, nope, I didn't read that. So retard. 8 miles to go, and then we want to be at 141 knots. It's just slowly going down. As you can see, the heading, the speed box is going down. Still below the glide slope, but not yet captured by the localizer. There's our 2 runways. That will be 2-3 left for us. So the approach checklist altimeter that has been done. So landing checklist, engine start switches to continuous, speed brake armed, engine start switches are on continuous. So now we're just waiting to be captured by the localizer. Let's go flaps 1. And I'm going to arm the speed brake now. So usually I do not really like these really short intercepts, but let's see how it's gonna go. We're still well below the glide slope, so that's okay. Just now really waiting for the localizer. Our range is 12.5 nautical miles. It should be 1 for 1 in 2 miles. Let's get the flaps 2. Let's see if the speed bulk will change, and it will. I think we can go flaps 5. There you go. And after that I think we'll have to extend our landing gear. Captured by the localizer. We're 10 miles out, so we do not have to drop our gear just yet. So that's our localizer capturing. Now let's arm the approach. Approach armed. Distance 9 miles. And captured by the glide slope. Okay, the weather 180, we got 1008, so let's change that immediately. 1008, we've got 1805 knots, so that's fine. 2500 feet, distance now 8 nautical miles. So lots of airports have you flying at 160 knots, basically what we're doing with last, until 4 DME. I will drop the gear now. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Flaps 10. Flaps 15. To 124, 129. Flaps full and speed 129. Alright, so that's it, fully configured. So landing checklist. Engine start switch continuous, speed brake is armed, landing gear is down, and flaps green light. Landing checklist complete. Turn off the autopilot. And follow the ILS, or the glide slope. Do feel the left wind, the wind from the left a little bit for sure.
plus 100.
Did not get a sync rate warning.
Minimums.
Continuing.
Fifty. 40. 30.
Idle.
20,
Fire.
10.
There is a nose gear touchdown. Reverse is out. Alright, so welcome to Düsseldorf, everybody. Knots. So edge to idle, flaps up, P-brake up. Exit the runway left for left. Oh, looks like the flame rate is not super happy for a bit. Turn off the landing lights. Now basically looking for a place to set the aircraft. I think that's in the corner there. I'm not seeing it. Oh, here we are. Okay. So that's a bit, that's a bit off. So let's park here next to the Swiss. So didn't quite notice the lining, I guess. That sometimes happens, especially when my brain gets a little bit tired. Just overshoot. But at least then can sort of stand properly aligned. Yeah, something like that. Parking brake set. What the hell are we looking at? So here we are. Safe and sound to Düsseldorf Airport. I thank you very much for checking. And everybody just stay funky. Hope you enjoyed the flight. I certainly did myself. Look at the aircraft. Flight's a little bit excessive, standing here at the gate, but sure. Right, man, thank you very much for checking again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.